Hello there! This is Al, and today we're looking at Eeveelution stuff. We are specifically looking at the Eevees from Prismatic Evolutions. We aren't seeing super competitive Eevees, but if you want to build an Eeveelution deck, or try to, we're gonna look at how you might do that, especially with Flareon, who seems to be the most successful. So Flareon, I think, is the most successful one. This is a list from the Champions League Fukuoka. So this was like February 15th or so kind of recent, and this is top 15 of the tournament. You can see right down there, it was 15th place with Kansei Ishikawa. So if we look at this deck list, we can see that we're running the Owl package. The Owl package is, of course, Hoothoot and Noctowls with the ability Jewel Seeker. Once during your tournament, you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve on your Pokemon. If you have any Terra in play, you may search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards, reveal them, put them in your hand, shuffle your deck. That finds what we need. It's also utilizing 2 Phanerotom for the 4 Hoothoot Noctowl to find stuff. Then we have 2 Eevee with boosted evolution. So this is the card that makes this work. So this is the card that makes the Eevees viable, almost. Like, it has to be. It doesn't have to, but you know what I mean? I'm trying to emphasize it's good. The ability boosted evolution, good. As long as this Pokemon's in the active spot, it can evolve during your first turn or the turn you play it, which means you can slap on that EX and just get rolling. Now, we do have an EVEX right here for 200 HP. It's a Terra. It's, 2 prize cards with Rainbow DNA. This Pokemon can evolve into any Pokemon EX that evolves from Eevee if you play it from your hand onto this Pokemon. Why would you play this Eevee along with this Eevee or something, This is for especially finding it with Terra Orb. There is like 3 Terra Orb in this deck, which lets you search for a Terra Pokemon and then reveal it and put it into your hand. That is how we can find some Eevees, some other stuff, and it also unlocks things we need to unlock, such as Area 0 Underdepths, which makes the bench go big to 8 bench places. That is necessary, and you need a Terra Pokemon out for that. We also have a Briar, where you need to attack with a Terra Pokemon at the end of the game, with your opponent having 2 cards remaining. And then it lets you take 1 more prize. We also have, like I said, Terra Orbs to search things out. Glass Trumpet is also in here, so that you can choose to your bench color list to attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to each of them. That being, our Eevees are colorless. Night Stretcher, I was kind of surprised about Pokemon League Headquarters. Attacks used by each basic Pokemon in play cost an energy more. And then, certainly something. Black Belt's Training is the other oddball, I think, which is during this turn, attacks used by your Pokemon do 40 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. So, cool stuff. We also have Crispin to help get things rolling with the energy. Speaking of energy, we have 3 fire energy, 3 water energy, 2 lightning energy, 1 grass energy. And so, yeah, that's kind of the deck. Flareon here has 270 HP. It's got Burning Charge as its first attack. It's got 4 fire and colorless energy, doing 130, and you search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Then you shuffle the deck. Carnelian for 280. These are named after rocks, and I'm not sure what rock this looks like. Okay, here we go. They look pretty, like, edible and nice and interesting. Okay, gotcha. And it definitely fits. So this is for a fire, a water, a lightning. That is our typical stellar, Terra Pokemon that are needing all this different types of energy. It does 280, and it says during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. It's got a 2 retreat, all that. So that's Flareon there. We also have a Leafeon in this deck. So Leafeon is my favorite. I love Leafeon, but it is a grass type, and it has been, kind of cursed with the healing package as well. But hey, it can come in handy. So Verdant Storm does, for 60 each, it does 60 damage for each energy attached to all your opponent's Pokemon. And then Moss Agate, let's see I don't know what that looks like. Okay, it's maybe not as good as the Carnelian, but this is cool too. For a Leaf, a grass energy, a fire, and a water, it does 230 and then heal 100 from each of your benched Pokemon. So that could be cool. Then we have things like Mew in the deck for extra draw support and stuff, but that is our package there. If you want to see more Flareon EX specific lists, I will have this linked, of course, but as we can see from here, we have the usual stuff. We see the Leafeon. Some of these have this wall variant thing of like the Farigiraf EX sort of thing, and I can see why that would like help slow down, I'm sure, your opponent a little and try and incorporate that. I see that one around. I also sometimes see the Victini being used. I've seen the Victini with Victory Cheer being used. It says attacks used by your Evolution Fire Pokemon do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that could be helpful in fixing some numbers and stuff and hitting stuff. But yeah, it looks like most are also run with the Noctowl engine here, the Terastal engine, all that. So that is interesting. We can take a look at the other Eevees as well, though. But like I said, I think Flareon has seen the most so far. We also have Shawaz, yeah, which is Vaporeon's name. Baby Squall. Listen. Okay, deals 60 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon EX. The damage does not take into account weaknesses or resistances. It's got Aquamarine for 280. During the next turn, it cannot use moves. This is the same as our guy, Flareon. Then we see Glaceon. Glaceon is interesting to me. I kind of want to look at more Glaceon. Frost Bullet, 110 damage. It also deals 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And then Uklas, it says choose one of your opponent's Pokemon with 6 damage counters on it and knock it out. Kind of interesting. How can we get 6 damage counters on it? With maybe Dragapult, maybe? Or other things? We can move it around too with Monkey Dory. Maybe we'll see some Glaceon in a video. Sanda's Flash Spear. If you wish, you can trash up to 2 basic energy cards attached to your bench Pokemon and inflict 90 damage times the number of cards trashed. Cool stuff. And then Dravite. Doravaito. It's dark, yeah. Does that Effie EX, of course, can do Psycho Out for 160. Choose one card from your opponent's hand without looking at it face up and discard it. And then peel off one evolution card from each of your opponent's evolved Pokemon to cause them to evolve. Return the peeled cards to your opponent's deck and shuffle them. I love the auto translation sometimes. I know that we have the cards. We'll look at the English. Here we go. De-evolve each of your opponent's evolved Pokemon by shuffling the highest stage evolution card on it into your opponent's deck. Reminds me a little of Sylveon, I think, too. Let's go ahead and keep going. Brachiex has Moon Mirage 160, confuse the active Pokemon, your opponent's, and then Onix, which is a rock type. Let's see. Trash all energy attached to this Pokemon and take one of your side cards. So, an extra prize with him. Sylveon EX, Magical Charm during your opponent's next turn. Attacks used by the defending Pokemon do 100 less damage. And then Angelite, choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, shuffle those Pokemon and all attached cards into your opponent's deck, and if this Pokemon used Angelite during your last turn, this attack can't be used. Alright, so we sometimes see the occasional Sylveon pop up as well. And yeah, all in all, I think this is pretty steady and expected. I think that utilizing the healing from Leafeon is helpful, can be for tanking stuff. And then I guess Flareon being the one who can help power things up. So if we can power things up, that is helpful. Because of these like wonky kind of sometimes difficult to get energy cost. And even though Flareon is quite similar to Jolteon and Vaporeon in moves and stuff, especially that second move since they all share it, Vaporeon does not have a first attack involving attaching energy at all. Same with Jolteon, but with Flareon, it is good to have that just constant backup. So the game plan here is obviously to get your Eevees out, have your Flareons, be able to power some up, be able to like do that, and then I assume, and find what you need with the Noctowl engine, all that. But yeah, I can kind of see how it's coming together. I enjoyed the feel of this deck, and I can see why Flareon can be a good one, especially with these packages, and it was really cool to see it get 15th place at Champions League. That's really awesome. And so I definitely want to at least visit it. I would love to hear how you play these Eevees if you have tried or want to build some. I'd love to hear your ideas and things too. And I appreciate you watching, as always. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!